All right, folks, before we get started, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and bell for notification. All right, welcome, folks. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. It's going to be a different sit rep. Instead of Friday, I'm having to move some things around due to a family emergency. And so it's July 1st at 10 a.m. And without further ado, let's get on over to the boards. Now, you can see today, right now, we're sitting at about 250 aircraft up across the U.S. That's going to be, kind of your average. Right now, I've got one selected on. Now, that's going to be one of our Spec Ops birds. That's going to be your C-146. That's what they call the Wolfhound. For those that don't remember, we talked about this one before. So these 146s are basically used for supporting special operations. All right. So now I did say they had the PT-6A engines on them. I was wrong on that. That's actually going to be the PW, which is Pratt & Whitney 119C turboprops. So very similar to the PT-6A, which is, again, a workhorse. Unit cost about $17.6 million, but it's a pretty cool little bird. Like I said, high wing, and utilized quite a bit. Now, we were watching these go in and out of South and Central America for a while, and then they basically went off radar on us. And so now they're just not flying as a call sign. They're just NA. So when we spot those, that's going to be your Dornier 328s. Okay, that said, we do have a couple of Mexican Air Force birds down here. Now, you remember, let me hit persistence because we just lost them. Now, you remember just the other day we were watching two Gulfstream Air Force, Mexican Air Force birds that went up here to the border around Tijuana. And so looks like we got two more headed out of, let's see, this is like central Mexico, like right down in the heart of the place. And looks like they're headed northbound. My guess would be probably headed up here to the border town, if I had to guess, but on the east side instead of the west side. All right. So, but we'll keep our eye on them as we go. Now, I do have persistence on, so hopefully we don't drop off on us. But all right, let me back out of this a little, and let's get over to Flashbang schedule, and then I'm going to go through a couple things. I do want to talk about some data points. I had somebody reach out to me, and we were discussing some activity relative to the Kalitta birds, and so we're going to talk about that just a little bit, just for some clarification. All right, so. And so on Flashbang's schedule, it looks like he's got an out-of-town pool call at 5:45 a.m. this morning. Ooh. And coming back about 7:50. So, I don't know, that's a long day for him. So we'll see what happens. And it looks like he's running right into his favorites. So we got Ron DeSantis. I'm sure they're just loving him coming into town. So nonetheless, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. So we'll just continue to do that. But it looks like we got another geriatric hat trick on the board for today. And that said, let's get over here. We're going to look at the TFRs and see if we have stuff that matches. Get that on the right screen here. And it's looking like, yeah, there's our little TFR down here, the red one there, which should say VIP, and it does. Looks like we got some weather in the general area. And it looks like we've got a tropical system pushing into the Gulf, which, it gets in over this hot water, and who knows what that thing could do. So there is that one. Of course, we got the existing one up here near the brown zone, and I see a little tiny one over that general. That's an air show. Again, I guess, man, 4th of July weekend. That's right. So that would make sense. All right, here's another one, air show. And this one here, probably another air show, if I had to guess. Yeah, it's air show. All right, we get over to this general area. Which one we have here? Looks to be air show. And we already know the ones. As we get into this, here's another one. Looks to be, yeah, these are all air shows. All right, so it looks like we got some Independence Day air shows happening. So we know all of these are air shows as well. Let me pop up here, just double check and see if that is an air show as well. So between air shows and fires, that's a hazards one there. So that seems to be emergency response. So mining operation looks to be going on. But the rest of these, all these red boxes in here, for the most part, are fires. This is just your normal border stuff. Same with this here. And these are all air show stuff. And as we get out here over onto the West Coast, and I'm pretty sure these are all hazards. So these are going to be fires. So it looks like we're entering fire season. And I know we've got some of the hottest weather on record coming in into the area. You can see the heat advisory up here getting ready to happen. So all right, so let me back out of the TFR aspect of this, and let's get over to the other piece of this, which is going to be the volcanic activity. Now, I will tell you, it's kind of crazy. I was watching some of this. Now, the Ring of Fire over here is really starting to hop. And so we've got Simaru, looks like we've got an ash alert over on this side. We've got Dacono, which is ongoing, but looks like that one also has some ash alerts associated with it. So it's spewing again. And then we've got Tall, which is another one that's actually also new. So, but that one right there is also erupting, and based on satellite imagery. So, but it looks like they're saying that the cloud has dissipated. So, but just something to watch as we get up into that general area. And then let's get over to Central America, which is another interesting. Now, this place has been hopping a little wild. Now, what I don't see, it's just kind of crazy, is Costa Rica. We were just talking about Rincon yesterday. That volcano has actually been popping, and they're saying they're getting ready to see some activity they haven't seen since the 1990s. Just based on all of the volcanic and seismic activity and the gas emissions. So we'll keep our eye on that Central America piece, which is quiet right now, kind of unusual. But then down here you've got Ruiz and Sanjay that look to be, now that Sanjay one looks to be pumping out some pretty good ash clouds there. And let me see, we had something else. I thought I saw something down here. And that one we've seen for a while too, but look at the ash cloud alert on that one. So it looks to be pretty solid. All right, man, the volcanoes are just going nuts. It's insane the amount of volcanoes we have going off around the world right now that are just firing left, right, and center. Everything from Central Africa up to Iceland, and these are just the ash producers. So think about, there's 45 active volcanoes around the planet right now, and that tells you the rest of them are kind of either spewing steam or lava, which is pretty interesting. So, all right, now let's get over to the Coletta birds. I want to just point something out real fast. Now, this is in 331CK. This is one we've been watching. It popped onto our radar a long time ago when it went in and out of Guantanamo Bay, okay? But last week I was watching this one, and I had made the comment that, associated with black hats and how, it was coming out of Detroit, headed into El Paso, right into the border town. And so I reached out and spoke with the Coletta comms person and just asked a couple questions. And so they basically came back and told me that, hey, listen, they don't move people. They're and now keep in mind this is Coletta Air, not Coletta Charter. But their point to me was the fact that they don't move people, they only move cargo. And that particular flight, which I thought was pretty cool of them to actually give me some details on it. But what they're telling me was that particular flight was actually tied to a support contract with DHL, and they're basically moving car parts. All right, so that had nothing to do with moving immigration folks. So I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that one. And like I said, the comms lady over there seems to be pretty cool and was very forthcoming and nice about it all. So that said, we're going to move on, so we won't spin our wheels on that anymore. But let's get over to Guantanamo Bay, since we were just talking about that. Now, looking at this board, I can tell you there is some serious uptick continuing on. This wasn't just some crazy phase. I think we are now sitting in a extended elevated state relative to something happening on that island, okay? We saw the troop rotations coming in, which, we already know that they've had higher levels of troops there for an extended period of time, which tells you when you have that many troops going in and out and you're on that rotation every 3 months that, there's people there, and got to be a lot of people there. You don't load up, that many troops onto these massive carriers and for 4 people, right? And so there's going to be quite a few people there, I would imagine. Now, the interesting thing is what we're starting to see are these airline flights coming in. They seem to be coming out of DC. Now, we've looked at the seat configuration on them. A couple of them look like they were staffer birds with onesie twosies, and then we had one, the same flight a week prior to that looked to be a prison setup, okay? Because the seating configuration was a little bit different than the one that we just looked at recently. And so now we've also got Delta Airlines that's rolling in. Now this one's coming in from Hartsfield. More than likely that's a deadhead flight coming in empty, and it'll pull people out. So I think that's probably troops leaving and we'll probably see some type of a replan. Now, I did see one pop on the radar. I think it was yesterday. That was Shark 67 coming out of Biggs, and now that one is typically going to be that's troops coming inbound. So that would make sense if you got the Delta one leaving outbound. Okay, so there is that. Now these ATNs that are Charleston, those are going to be supply runs, but the ones coming out of Lauderdale, these seem to be, I'm not thinking these are contractor birds anymore. I'm thinking these are either going to be bringing in legal teams or maybe jury folks for grand jury stuff, or could be tribunal stuff going on where they're bringing folks in for that. Or like I said, for these little 329 MCs, and this one right here, which is the Maxwell bird, I'm thinking those may be tied to bringing some prisoners in. So again, we've can't confirm that we've seen prisoners on them. I would just tell you the folks that were getting off of those were look to be like high speed dudes. And we will tell you also that they're loading people in the hangar, okay, not out on the tarmac, and lots of increased security activity whenever these things are actually moving around. All right, so we'll leave it at that. It's just a data point. Like I said, we did stumble upon the Punisher, and I'm not going to go into details on that one. I'm just going to say the pain is there. It's no longer pain's coming, or maybe it's coming. No, it's definitely there, and it's been there for a while. We just didn't know that's what it was. So we're going to leave it at that. All right, folks. But definitely some happenings going on. We'll get over here to the scheduled board. Let's just see if we've got anything. Nothing on the schedule board, and then on the en route board, let's see. Nope, nothing is actually rolling right now. So all right, there is that. Let me get over to departures just to make sure we don't have anything coming out that we didn't see coming in. All right, and looks to be pretty close to a match there, so not going to worry too much about that. All right, so yeah, I definitely think something's going on down there. More than likely, this could be those tribunals that we're talking about. Now, I don't think they are tied to the ones that we want them to be tied to. I think these are human traffickers. Like I said, I just think this is a white hat operation, and it is in overdrive right now, and that may be why we're getting the push to basically close that location, because they know what's going on. Okay, all right. That said, let's get over to 312 FU. Now this is going to be your Maxwell bird. It's not showing over on this one right now, but I just wanted to point a couple things out. Notice that it's rolling out of Opelika. All right, Maxwell, and it's headed out to Aspen. All right, so that's actually en route right now. So there's your picture of your bird. That's going to be your Maxwell bird. For those not familiar with it, that's what it looks like. It's a beautiful little plane, but that is actually a little bit of a mix. So what you do is you're getting folks that are executive contractors that can release that aircraft, as well as probably some of the other operations for DoD support and other agency support. So, but this one here looks like it on Wednesday the 30th was it was in Opelika there, and then today it's Thursday July 1 rolling out of Opelika. So it spent the night there and headed to Aspen, and then it looks like it's coming out of Aspen here to Dallas Love Field. All right, and that's today, actually about 3 o'clock. Okay, so there is that. Now let's look at the other. This is N329MC. That one came out 15 hours ago out of East Hampton, New York, headed down to Lauderdale. Okay, now I'm not totally sure. Okay, if I start to look at this, is it plausible? I mean, when you get up here into East Hampton, into that general area, there's Oyster Bay here. Now, that is not very far from Nantucket, and as you can see, this is Nantucket out here. Is it feasible? We saw that aircraft roll down from Spain around the time that our gentleman suicided himself, right? And it landed here in Nantucket. That's just a boat ride. That could be a, quick helicopter ride, take him right into here, and then put him on a plane and fly down to Lauderdale, which is, we know, one of our sites that we watch. Now, that would be then no longer a black hat operation, would actually go into control of maybe a white hat operation. So maybe, I don't know. Like I said, that would be total speculation, but I'm just saying, not, knowing these guys and how they operate, nothing is out of the realm of possibilities. Okay, but if one day we have to connect those dots, that could be it. All right. So, all right, now let's get over here to N301AZ. This is actually rolling out of Miami into Nassau, Bahamas. All right, now you guys know we watch this area pretty regularly, and again, that's one of our watch sites. All right, and we know why. Right, shakedown location, but it looks like it's coming out of there back into the Marathon, so it's going into Florida Keys, and then from Florida Keys, that bad dude's rolling up to Morristown, New Jersey. Okay, now let's get over here to 302 AZ, which landed about 15 hours ago, and it was also in the Bahamas. Different location, not Nassau. Nassau's over here, but this is another site we've been watching. Now, if you guys remember, that thing is nothing more than basically a long runway and a very light populated island. Okay, all right, so there's that one. Now let's get over to XPL Honduras as we get away from the other birds. And looks like we've just got mainly aircraft coming in that are going to be supply chain related. So these are all out of Charleston, South Carolina. These are Reach aircraft. Now this one we saw pop in the other day. That was from Monday. And so this is ASL Airlines. Now we have seen this one there before, and I don't have any other information on it right now. It's not pulling up, but it's a little gray bird. Looks just like all of our other aircraft, and in terms of like the Lears and things like that. So all right, now let's look at the immigration piece. This one's rolling out of Bullhead City, Arizona, headed over to McAllen, Texas, which we know right here that's going to be your border town. And so it looks like they are rolling down here to pick up some more peeps. Okay, and if you notice on the last flight, that one actually was in Brownsville, went to El Paso, so went border to border. All right. Now over here, this one is another landed. This is N531AU, same airline. This is Swift Air LLC, Alexandria to Brownsville. So it looks like that one landed yesterday, and it's back down here, pre-positioned, ready to roll out with some peeps as well. Okay, so there's that, and then we get over here to this one, which is going to be N149XA, currently en route. Now, this one doesn't look like it is in the sequence right now. It looks to be going over for some troops as it's headed from Columbia, South Carolina over to Fort Lawson Woods. And that's going to be, let me see if we got anything else. Yeah, I don't have any other information on that one. So looks like they're coming to do a troop pickup. It is 4th of July weekend, so there's no telling. But all right, now over to our Spycraft. Let's get a look at these. Now, this one landed about a day ago. Now, keep in mind, my understanding is that there is a base up here, an Army base that they use to do a lot of this electronic equipment type of research and things of that nature. But these are operating out of the DC area and coming into this general area. Now, we've been watching them run these loops for quite some time, almost daily. So I'm not sure if this is some type of a they're like heavily watching an area, or if this is just doing some testing. So we'll continue to monitor it. Again, like I said, if there was a trust factor with our government, I would say, yeah, nothing to worry about. But the fact that I don't think anybody trusts our government, you just have to keep eyes on it. So then, just take it as a data point, right? Okay. Now here's R50348. That's another one, same type. These are the Dash 8s, by the way. And this was yesterday, 15 hours ago. All right. Same thing, rolled out of DC. You can see leveled off at 18,000 feet, and was doing some loops right there. So that's collecting data is what they're doing there. All right. And then over here to the Army 644, which is another one of those birds, Dash 8. And you can see that one actually, same kind of thing. This is the same general area, but this is your, this is your brown zone right here, Senior Living Center. And let me see. Yeah, it's coming out of that general area now. NEL. Let's get just the name of this airport. So we've got so that's Lakehurst. All right. Now Lakehurst, I believe that's where the Army intelligence place is and where they're running things out of. So there could be some correlation there between the two. I'm not really sure, but Again, we'll just keep our eye on it. It's an interesting data point, and like I said, we trust them as far as we can throw them. So just having that information or that intel relative to their activity just kind of helps us in the future as a data point. When something goes down, we can go, that's what that was. Okay. All right. Now back over to our main map as we kind of get into this a little further. So we were tracking these two Mexican birds, Mexican Air Force. They look like this one's descending right now. Now, McAllen, Texas is right here, right? So we just looked at that other immigration bird that was headed inbound to McAllen. These guys seem to be rolling in just on the other side of the border there. And then this one is still sitting at 22,000 feet and descending. So we'll see where he goes, but it's looking like he's headed to Laredo. Okay. So there is that. These are all trainers right here. Lawn darts, same little BE-40s. And then what do we have here? That's a Ronin B350. So, and then south of Tucson, that is, let me just see. These are usually your intel birds that are down in this general area, but that's Rebel. And so it's a BE-20. And then that's going to be Air Refueler -99. Okay. So it looks like we've got some fighters on the border down here, more than likely. Now, tanker and another tanker. So a lot of air refuelers up today. It seems to be pretty quiet on this coast as of right now, but of course, it's only 10:30 in the morning, so it's a little early. Salt Lake City looks to be kind of busy, so that's we've got some air refuelers up. Look like we got 3 of them in the area. There's your Ogden up here. And then let's get over here for Denver. That's EC-45, a bunch of trainers. And then we've got an E6 that seems to be headed eastbound. All right. And so that is going to be one of your, that's what they call looking glass, coming out of Beale Air Force Base. And it's just over North Texas, right on the borderline of North Texas and Oklahoma right now. All right. And so now there is our R-135, which you guys know that's a spy craft headed northbound. Okay, and let me get over here to the East Coast. We'll see what we've got going on now. We've got a P3. Looks like that one is coming down out of Jacksonville Naval Air Station, headed southbound. And a couple C-130s, some H-60s, and more air refuelers. So I would imagine we probably got some fighters up over that general area right now, even though we do have some weather there. That's going to be one of your Dorniers. That's going to be your Spec Op bird we were looking at earlier. And then let's get up here near the brown zone and take a closer look. Now that looks to be air refuelers. So this is Baltimore, Washington right here. And that one is one of your presidential birds. That's going to be 99003, it looks like. Let me just double check. Yeah, sorry, triple ball 3. So 99 triple ball 3. No telling who's on that one. It's NA at the moment. But it looks to be landing. It's doing some touch and goes there, but it looks like to be landing in DC right now. And again, more tankers, which would tell you we got a lot of fighters up over DC this weekend. All right, got some heavies, a lot of heavies there. So this one's coming inbound, another one coming inbound, and another air refueler up here over Maine. And so, see, he's using that pattern right there, flying. So doing some air refueling up here. So we may have some fighters up over the northeast, it looks like. And let me back up just a tad. We're going to go over the drink real fast as things continue to heat up. Now there's another tanker that's rolling across the drink. Now, usually when you see the tankers coming across, it's because they're supporting fighters going across as well. So we may have some movement of fighters coming back and forth. And the UK, it's still pretty early, but mercy, man, there is a lot of traffic up over the UK right now. These, I'm pretty confident, are all trainers. Pretty confident from helos. Same thing here for helos trainers. Most of what we typically see over the UK are typically a lot of trainer activity. Now, we do have, those are 3 fighters right there. Let's see, those look to be trainers also. Let me just double check here. Yeah, T-45s. So it looks like they're doing a lot of training out over the water today. These blue boxes that you see are air refueling boxes, and that's going to be one of your air refuelers right there. So what they do, instead of like us where we'll run that long track for air refueler where they'll just hit that line and everybody loads up on it, They over there just do a box and allow them to just kind of free flow in that box for air refueling. So they'll lock in at an altitude, but they can do whatever they want, whatever's smoother, whatever's, you know, works best. And so that gives them a little more flexibility for air refueling. So, okay. I got a little reach rolling across. That is, so when you see that as a call sign, Reach 808 as a tanker, keep in mind it's a KC-135, and so they have the ability to actually carry cargo. So that is probably not doing air refueling, but doing cargo, okay, for that one. A couple Eurofighters there. Look like quite a few Eurofighters up. Look at these guys. Yeah, they're up there having a little fun this evening. Definitely, yeah, we got like dogfights and stuff going on. That's really cool. Lots of that happening. Looks like, man, that's a bunch. I think it's the most Eurofighters I've seen at any given time that I've been over on this side. So several Chinooks. These are all Chinooks, you know, your banana copters as we call them. Okay. And so again, yeah, banana copters. All right. Let me back up. Looking across Europe, I see a lot of heavy movers is what I'm looking at. A400s, a lot of, there's a AWACS right there. Now that's NATO. And it looks like it just landed in, one of them's on ground in Luxembourg, and the other one is landing right now in Luxembourg. So, okay. And look, another one. Boy, NATO. So we've got 3 NATO AWACS all up over Europe right now. That's another first. I haven't seen that many up in a long time. And so especially the NATOs, which is kind of interesting. All right. And probably because this area here, Black Sea, is like heating up like crazy right now. So that's definitely an area to watch. I can just, you feel the war drums going. It seems like everybody is posturing right now for somebody just to break bad. If you guys watch my Monkey Minute, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is, everybody's just jockeying for position between Russia, Iran, China. It is just crazy. And of course, they're all going offensive, and the U.S. is just going defensive. We seem to be doing nothing, you know, but standing on our heels, just printing money and sending airplanes of money across, paying people off. So, okay. Anyway, so here we are. It looks like we've got more tankers here in this general area. That's going to be a Dubai, a UAE Augusta Hilo. And then it looks like we've got a couple C-17s inbound, a C-130 inbound. So it looks like quite a bit of movement there. That's going to be a little V-22 Osprey right there as well. And okay. All right, now we'll just keep going, spinning on over here to the this general area and see if we've got anything. Now, I don't read any of that. Don't know what it says. Chicken scratch. That's all I can see. Looks like I got a little fighter up in the general area, which is over Japan. And let me just double check here. That's actually a U.S. military fighter. And little H-60 activity over Hawaii. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up our sit rep for this week. I will be back on. I'll probably do something special on Monday, depending on what's going on with the dog. And if not, I'll be back on Tuesday with our normal live sit rep. So you guys be safe. Stay frosty. God bless. Monkey out. Check out the latest gear at MonkeyWorks US.